I think she's the perfect person to do it. Number one, she is hot tonight.
Woo!
Look at you. First night with no babies anywhere in sight, out on almost a date night. A date night with all of you. She's dating all of you, 70 of us. And that's pretty Michael. Yeah, that's pretty fun. Mariah is a certified nurse midwife, trained at Yale. She's a mom of 3. She's an amazing wife, and she's just a powerhouse woman, and she's a really great friend. And I love you.
Thanks. I have to tell you, my armpits have been sweating since I woke up this morning. I'm not generally nervous about speaking, but there's something about thinking about closing after someone that has created so much impact around the globe. I've felt it all day long. And so it's been fun. I had to spray some rose water on my armpits. Okay, so when I was thinking about what I wanted to share, what I realized is 11 years ago when I finished my nurse practitioner training at Yale, at that point, what was it like? I thought it was normal to have abdominal pain every day, and I was just a constipated person. I'd had a colonoscopy at age 25. And I had neck pain in my body every day. I'd been in a couple of pretty nasty motor vehicle accidents in my 20s. A neurosurgeon had told me I needed total reconstructive surgery on my cervical spine. I knew that wasn't the solution, and I had just come to accept that that was just my reality. I had great earning potential as a nurse practitioner, and my husband is a physical therapist that had a cap to it. We were both trading time for money, and although I loved what I did, I could offer someone a great health outcome potentially, and if they couldn't afford what I was suggesting, I was in shackles. There was nothing I could do to help them. I was starving for a community of people that were up to something, to be surrounded by forward-thinking, like-minded people that believed in me, and I had been raised in a culture that taught me not to expose myself. That it was not a good idea to ask for help, and it was not a good idea to show my authentic self, because what happened is they closed the door and they abandoned me. And so when I found out about the idea of plant powders and growing my food, and the idea of the Shred 10, that came later, but it made perfect sense to me. I really believe as a healthcare provider, Hippocrates had it much better than the majority of professors in the current healthcare system. Let thy food be thy medicine, and let thy medicine be thy food. And although I had a great degree from Yale, I had one nutrition class in the midst of that education. And so I knew plant powder with research, yes, I'll take it. Yes, I want to share it with others. But I had what I call ITC and ITB syndrome. I'm too cool and I'm too busy. Because I was good. I had a great potential. I loved what I did. So did my husband. And to make a long story short, we were pregnant with our first baby. We had this awesome opportunity to go up to Alaska for 3 months. And we bought a car here in Ashland. We were driving the Alcan Highway, camping our way through Canada up to Juneau, and at 13 weeks pregnant, miscarried in a tent. And it sucked. It was devastating. And then when we arrived in Juneau, they said, oh, I'm so sorry, we made a mistake. We actually don't have a job for you. And that $10,000 we were going to reimburse you guys for your move, guess what, we no longer have that for you. So my husband and I looked at each other. We were homeless, jobless, uninsured, with a $10,000 here you go debt, and without a baby. And we said this will never happen again. And that was when we took this mission on seriously. And we said, this is going to be the real deal. A year later, I gave birth to my son, who's turning 6 on Thursday. And you know what? Since he was born, I have been home with my kids. I have been choosing to work as a nurse practitioner when I want, with the patients that I want, not because I need the money, but because I love it. And this mission has been able to bring me home to be a present mom. And we were very close to bringing my husband home so that he can retire out of physical therapy. So when I things looked like before and then what they look like now. Guess what? The gut health is gone. I'm a poopin' lady. The neck pain, guess what? It's gone. I can't wait to go back to the neurosurgeon and tell him. The energy that I thought it was normal that if you go to the gym, you do caffeine first. And instead now I've realized that plants can give us energy. So when I'm doing when I used to do a 24-hour shift as a midwife on the hospital floor, I would keep the plant powder capsules in my pocket and just take those every hour for sustained energy. So that health life, that health story that I thought was normal and I was fine, it was what everybody did. Now I'm 41 with a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old, and I feel vibrant and I feel healthy and I feel better than I did in my 20s and 30s. The financial story. Yes, we had good earning potential, trading money for time. Now we get to impact lives around the world, and guess what? My next conversation with someone can pay me for the rest of my life. And when I am in the midst of seeing someone for their healthcare needs and they tell me that they can't afford it, I have a possible vehicle for them. If they are open to the idea of locking arms with a mission to help others around the globe, guess what? They can also create residual income, and I can hold their hand through that journey. Look at the community around us. I'm supported, I call it my Juice Plus bubble. I'm supported by a community that believes in me more than I believe in myself. It's non-competitive community, and we support one another like you can't imagine. The love that you feel, you can feel Jay's heart. That is infused through the entire organization. And I am finding myself, even in just the last month, being more authentic and more powerfully myself in a bold way than ever before. And those old stories of being afraid of being abandoned because I showed my real authentic self, guess what? I'm not being abandoned. And I'm being empowered to be that totally authentic, vulnerable self. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So no more ITC and no more ITB. Because the thing with the ITB that I'm too busy, we all have noise, we all have busy lives. But are those busy lives and those excuses going to continue to be our excuses to not allow us to fulfill our dreams? Or do we say that all excuses are equal, and if I'm too busy to do this, I'm too busy not to? So what I realized is I have an entrepreneurial spirit. I'm a mission-driven person. I love the idea of making an impact around the globe. I'm teachable. And I love this community. And so those 4 things, what I realized is I'm a perfect fit for this. I don't have to be a healthcare provider. I have heart, and I want to make a difference around the world. And so now I get to go out there and look for other people that are also wanting to make a difference around the world. They're mission-driven. They want to help empower families to grow their own food and find a more vital, basic well-being. They want to change the financial livelihood and surround all of us with a community that believe in ourselves and others that believe in us. And so we are here on a mission. And maybe you resonate with this mission and you think, gosh, that really makes sense to me. And I say, if you do, awesome. Because you know what, with any revolution or any mission, we can't do it by ourselves. All of us in this room have our own community of people, but even all of us here in this room can't do that by ourselves. So we're looking for others to join on the mission, and if it's not you, I know that it's somebody that you know. So if you could please help us. We are trying to lift up, starting with kids, starting with the next generation, and starting with changing the landscape of the globe through sustainability and saving water and land and all of that. If you know anyone who's looking to transform their health, if you know someone who's looking to transform their financial well-being that has no cap, and guess what? You get to do it where you want, when you want, and with whom you want. If you know someone who's looking to surround themselves by a community that's really up to something, or you know someone who's really looking for personal growth. That story of me being my authentic self, that came from being in the safety of this community. At the last conference, somebody said, just outside your comfort zone and surrounded by the community of supportive people is where magic happens. And so what I'm finding is magic is happening in my life, and I'm looking for others to join on that. All of us are. So please go back to the person that invited you. Let them know if you're curious, great. If you know someone that you think this would be a great fit for, great. Because we need to lock arms with anyone in all 24 countries that we're currently present in. And we really want to create that mission and that revolution and watch like the rising tide lifts all ships. We're that rising tide. So, thank you.